January. It's the start of a new year, a time for change, for turning over a new leaf, a time for trying new things. And that's what today's video is all about. I have come up with an idea I'm calling GMuary. At the heart of this community-led event is the idea of letting those forever GMs sit on the other side of the screen for a little while and avoid burnout, as well as bringing new people into the fold who've always wanted to try GMing but have maybe been afraid to do it. It's about opening up your table to try different systems, different games, different tones, or maybe even totally different styles than they're used to. It's a chance to shake up things and reach out to those players or friends in your local community who have maybe mentioned they'd like to try games like D&D, but don't really know where to start. Maybe make a post on your local TTRPG forum, or even go to your local FLGS and make a flyer that says we're looking for GMs to run whatever game they want in a friendly, non-judgmental space. Okay, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so I'm going to jump into what I'm calling the 4 pillars of GMuary. Number 1. Okay, you forever GMs, I know that you have your schedule set in stone, because if you dare change one detail, everything will fall apart. So listen up. The first step to making GMuary a success is leaving an opening for players to run their game that they want to play. So start off by taking a look at your schedule and saying, maybe we meet every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. Maybe after one of those games in, let's say, December, where everyone's packing up their bags and getting ready to head home, take a look across your table and say, hey, you. Yeah, you. I know you have your own ideas about how the game should be run, and that you wanted to try your hat at GMing. Well, this is your grand opportunity. If one of you wants to run a game on that first Wednesday of January, I encourage you to do it. Pick whatever system you want to run, and I am down to do it. In order for GMuary to be a success, you have to open up your table to the idea of another player running the game. That means offering up a space at your table so they already have some players they're familiar with in order to run, and 2, leaving that date open so that they have a dedicated time to run that game. Pillar number 2, promote a judgment-free attitude towards the game they want to run. Look at that person straight in the eyes and say, whatever mistakes you think you're going to make, don't sweat it. This is going to be a judgment-free game. No one's going to be questioning your rulings or sideline GMing you. This is all about getting to try the game that you want to run and not feeling like you have to know every rule in the book. GMing is so much about the experience when running a game and getting an understanding for the flow and your players at the table, what they like and dislike, when upbeats and downbeats need to happen, and what you need to do to keep the game moving along. There's a lot of improv and a lot of wiggle room between the GM and the players, and that's something that only comes with practice. So this is a great time to pass the baton and march to the beat of their drum. Wow, that was a cheesy analogy, but I'm going to keep it in there. Number 3, encourage that player to run the game they want to play. Now, this doesn't mean you can't offer up suggestions to maybe some more rules-like games that might be easier for them starting off. Easy to run games like Knave and Easy D6, or even things like ICRPG or Shadow Dark, which is in my backpack right now, but you get the idea. These are much more simplified systems that aren't going to take a ton of time to master. Offering up an easy-to-run system is fine, but if they've been thinking about this for a while and boiling on it, they might have a game they already want to run. Encourage them to run that game and be excited about it. Which brings us to pillar number 4. Hype up your players and that GM for running the game that they want to do. Whether this is someone you know well or is a new player at your table, be their biggest fan. Really hype up the rest of your players for getting involved in this game. Maybe you're not a super cyberpunk kind of person and that's the game they want to run. Well, you know what? For this 1 week, you are a cyberpunk fan. Get excited about cyberpunk. Dig into it a little bit. Make a character that you really think will thrive in the world they've presented. And those are the main 4 pillars, but I'm going to sneak in a 5th idea just as a general sort of principle to GMuary. When it comes to TTRPGs, there are a lot of different styles. We all have our preferences and our hang-ups, and as GMs, we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. But all I'm asking is that for 1 month, we push all of those things aside for the greater good of the hobby. Let's face it, folks, at times, being a GM is a lot of commitment and work, and moving around to the other side of the screen and taking that seat can be daunting for some folks. They are stepping into a role they might feel vulnerable at. So the best we can do is offer that judgment-free zone, free of our preferences, our style, and maybe even our unsolicited advice. GMuary is about the betterment of our hobby by hopefully creating new GMs and letting people see that really it's an exciting position to be in. My first experience in a D&D game was as a player to a really killer GM. My buddy Wes would put so much energy and enthusiasm into his games that I didn't think I could hold a candle to his style. But after a while, I fumbled through the dark, I took up the torch, and I found my own style of GMing. It took some time and figuring out things I did and didn't like, but eventually I found players who wanted to play in a game of that style. So all I'm saying is be open-minded for that player who's maybe never done this before and is really going out on a limb to even try. And by the way, if you have a presence in any TTRPG community or you're in the Dungeon Tuber sphere like me, let's take time to promote GMuary as this idea of getting more people into the hobby and more GMs to run games at different tables. Because ultimately, this hobby brings people together in a really cool and unique way, and I'd love to see more of it out there. GMuary is about this idea at its core. More people in more communities coming to the table and having a good time and laughs shared together, without judgment. So make a post, maybe even make a video, talk about what GMuary means to you, and let's get this thing going before January rolls around. Because boy, do I know how scheduling works, and if you wait till January rolls around, it will be too late. Okay, that's probably it for today. I just wanted to get the idea of GMuary out there in the sphere and to get the hashtags flowing and the ideas going. So make sure to talk about it. Let's get excited about GMuary. Let's make it a thing. I'm going to call out some Dungeon Tubers now and ask them to make a video about it, promoting GMuary. These are top-class dungeon masters, and maybe they'll respond with their own short videos or ideas for GMuary. Tales from Elsewhere, DM Tales, Bandit's Keep, Questing Beast, and just for fun, I'm going to throw out Dungeon Masterpiece. I'm passing the torch to you, so now the decision is yours, for all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Alright folks, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this little video. Hope you participate in GMuary. Yo, future Jordan here. In all the excitement, I totally forgot to announce that I'm going to be on a few episodes of the RPG mainframe with none other than the man himself, Hanker Infernail. So make sure you keep a lookout for those episodes, tune in, and as always, have fun. And if you're a fan of me and this channel, then you know what's been going on in the Asheville and the greater Western North Carolina area, and I'm just going to offer a few ways that you can choose to support if you want to. There will be links down in the description below for the ongoing efforts in Western North Carolina, but I'm also going to link my personal Discord and Patreon. I've added some tiers if you want to just send some funds my way. We're kind of in a weird place right now where we're in between living situations, and my wife and I just don't really have dedicated jobs, so we're just kind of floating around trying to figure out what to do, and bills are piling up. So go check that out if you want to support in some way. I really appreciate it. I don't normally ask for money, but this is a very unique situation in my life, so if you feel like doing something, then thank you for helping. Also, we just have some awesome discussions happening on the Discord with folks who are really plugged into this community. I've been having a great time getting to know you guys better, and I just love getting to talk more about the hobbies outside of specific brands or certain systems. It's just been really, really fun and encouraging to me, so please come check it out. And just to go into the Patreon thing a little bit, I'm also going to be trying to do more like live Q&As in some capacity, and then maybe like an online West Marches style Shadow Dart game. So if you do want to sign up for that, there's going to be some availability through the Patreon to do so. Look out for more details on the Discord. Thanks for watching, and as always, make mistakes, choose chaos, and most importantly, have fun no matter what your preferences are. Bye. I have scoured to the heart of the archives deep, and traveled to the top of the cinder cloud peaks, and forded the everplains for the answers I seek. So beware of the realms where you meddle, for the fates can be fickle when the dice settle.